Hi, this is Joe again with another movie review. And for this video, we'll be discussing the 2014 film that was got one of the more highly praised movies of 2014, called and the film is called Boyhood, starring Patricia Arquette. And when we were highly praised, I mean this film was a bit of a novelty in a way, uh, because of the fact that it took 12 years for this film to make, and it was like the longest production of a movie in Hollywood history. And there's absolutely no reason why this movie took 12 years to make. None. The reason why it took 12 years to make is because of the simple fact is that they wanted to keep all the actors in the film. What I mean with this movie is about a kid named Mason who grows up from, I think, one moment to be like 6 or 7 years old, and it's gone in the film to about 18, 19 years old. So instead of what normally what people do in a film, because actually they want to film a movie as quickly as humanly possible, so they won't spend excuse me, so they won't over excuse me, so they won't overdo it on the budget, so they won't go over a certain amount for making a film, and so instead of waiting for the kid to grow up, they will hire actors that say have a kid playing the main character mate was named Mason in the film. 5 years old, they have another kid playing when 10 years old, they have another kid playing when he's 15 years old, and they have another character when he's 18 years old, and they have another kid when he's like, when he is at the end of the movie, going off to college. Um, Instead of doing it that way, they let the kid grow up, and when he reaches like a certain height or a certain age, then go back and film some more stuff, and then wait a couple more years, film some more stuff, and so on and so on until when they have completed the whole story, which is just knowing the main character, but also his sister in the film. But it's the most ridiculous way in my, and it is a novel idea. Don't get me wrong, but it's just a ridiculous way of doing a film. Because if that's the only reason why to praise a movie, it's the stupidest reason. In my opinion. I can understand if you thought it was a good movie, fine. A good story, fine. If the acting in it is fine, the direction, the lining, all the technical stuff, fine. But if you praise a movie, that's because they actually took 12 years to make it, so the kids could naturally age throughout the course of the film, instead of hiring actors at a certain age. It's just stupid. It's a stupid reason to praise a film. Like I said earlier, this movie stars Patricia Arquette as the mother of these two kids, and through the tribulations of growing up in their childhood. And the main character, Mason, and I mean, she did get Patricia Arquette won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress for this film. Um, but mainly it's for the kid. I think the kid was nominated for Best Actor, I think. Um, but I don't think it was a particularly interesting character, and it's not a particularly interesting movie at all. Because they do have these little vignettes of the kid growing up, and Patricia Arquette moving from house to house, marrying I think about two guys in the movie itself, not including the boy's father. And I think for some reason when they were either divorced before the picture, or she got pregnant by this guy twice before the movie even started. So, but she did marry two guys. One guy who turned out to be, I think, one of her students, or no, I think one of her professors in college. Because Patricia Arquette's character goes back to college to get a degree so that she can eventually become a teacher, which she does in the film, and marries one of her professors. And the professor turns out to be who has two kids of their own, and of his own from a previous marriage. And so they have four kids together. He turns out to be a drunk verbally and physically abusive to all the kids, his own and Patricia Arquette's kids, and then of course she eventually gets up and leaves them, and you don't know what happened to the other to her stepkids. You never knew what happened to them for the rest of the movie. Uh, you never got back to them at all for the rest of the film. You never met the drunken ex-husband ever again. You never see him. When she leaves him, that's it. You don't see the drunken guy anymore. And all of a sudden, she's in this other marriage with this other guy. You don't know what the hell, how they met. You never knew. Uh, you know how they met, how they got married. You never knew. You never saw it. You never see it in the film. And then all of a sudden, boom, she's married to this other guy now. Which is ridiculous. I mean, the whole way the thing was, the way the story was painted, because it had like little more like vignettes in the course of this kid's life, or Mason's life, and Patricia Arquette's life, and also of course over the course of the film, and late night comedians have been making this joke. You can see how fat Patricia Arquette got during the course of the 12 years. Of course, also during the course of the production of this movie, Patricia Arquette starred in an old television show on NBC called Medium, and she won an Emmy for that, which I thought was a good show. Because when the show ended, after I think the show ran for about like 4 or 5 years, and when that show ended, then she went back to going to production for this film, and it was going back and forth between production of Medium and the production of this movie, and it was just ridiculous. I mean, this movie was so boring. I can't believe this movie was. I think it's about like 2 hour, 40-minute movie. It is boring. First of all, it's boring as hell. The characters are not. I mean, other than Patricia Arquette, who I knew for, like I said earlier, she was in the Medium show, and I used to watch it every week when it was on. Other than her, there was not a single interesting character in the whole bunch. Not one. Of course, the father, or the boy's father, gets remarried and ends up having a kid in that relationship. And even that story, none of these storylines really go very far, and it's really, really boring. It's a boring movie, boring actors, boring storylines, boring vignettes, as they call it, as the producers call it, vignettes. And now I can understand why this movie got very, very low. It got a boatload of praise, like I said earlier, why. But beyond that, this movie was boring. Because I heard, that's saw this past weekend, and I happened to be on cable on Showtime, and so I wanted to see what the big deal is with this movie. And the fellow goes, okay, and we both were watching it, and we were watching it for like about an hour and a half, and even an hour and a half into the movie, we were bored to tears. Literally, bored to tears. Because that's how boring the film is. The film is not that interesting. I mean, the premise is, I don't have anything against the premise. The premise was fine. But it's the execution was terrible. The execution was bad. And that's why I can't really, praise this movie like everyone else has. Because the movie was boring as crap. It really, truly was. And that's all I have. That's pretty much all I have to say about the movie. I mean, like I said, and usually, I found this out even since I was a kid. When a movie gets highly praised by the liberal Hollywood media and mostly liberal movie critics out there, 9 times out of 10 the movie is shit. It really truly is. And anybody who thinks that Boyhood is a good movie, you're nuts. It's, God, I mean, it's so boring. It's hard to describe how boring it is unless you actually physically see it. Now you gotta understand why a lot of these movies over the last couple of years that have been nominated for the Oscar for Best Picture, 9 times out of 10, most people don't see them because it's first of all, it's not playing them in things to begin with because like either independent films or whatever. But the movies are boring. They're boring. I mean, when should people spend uh, $10 to $12 for a movie in the movie theater, and of course also spend extra money for popcorn and soda and whatever to see a movie that is boring, and most of them boring. And Boyhood is like the king of the crop, and one of the most boring movies I've ever seen in my life. I mean, I've seen plenty of boring films, but this one takes the cake. Considering the fact that it's, like I said earlier, it's a 2 hour 40 minute film, and it's you know boring. So if you've never seen the movie Boyhood and interested in seeing it because of the premise that it took 12 years to make and all that other stuff, avoid it. I'm asking people out there to avoid this picture at all costs. Avoid it like the plague. Because unless if you have to sleep without taking any sleep aid medication, this is the movie for you. Because it's so boring it'll put you to sleep. So let me review of the movie Boyhood. Please click on the video, please rate it. Feel free to comment on it, please subscribe to my channel, and please forward this video onto your Facebook pages. You can also check out my videos on my YouTube channel, but you can also check out some of my older videos on rallyc.com. That's ROWDY, the letter C.com. You can check out my videos on the Rally Reviewer's website as well. Plus, you can also check out his website with his TV trash reviews, the P.O. Pizza Guy, the Wrestling Mark, on all the other videos that he has on his, all the other content he has on his on his website. So please check it out on rallyc.com. Not only his content, but also my older videos, as well as my videos here on my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time.